Hello everyone, this is ACHAI Akaya, and I'm going to be casting a 1v1 here between ppgBubbles and our Terran player up in the top right here, QXC from Root Gaming. He is playing as our blue Terran here, and this map is Xel Naga Caverns. And before this game gets going, I had a couple things I wanted to say about it. First of all, ppgBubbles here, number 5 on the North American ladder right now. He's part of Team PPG, a new team that just recently started up in the StarCraft 2 scene here. And actually, I'm going to go ahead and plug it real quick. That's actually the team that I am a part of, and I am actually, don't worry, I don't play on it. I'm nowhere near good enough to play on a legitimate team, but ppgBubbles here, playing on that team. I am the team manager, and this guy, I'm telling you what, you're going to be seeing big things from him going forward. He has a lot of potential, and number 5 in the ladder, he's obviously pretty good, and running into QXC on the ladder here shows just how good he is that he's playing against some of the top players in the US on the North American servers, and proving his mettle in these 1v1 battles. So anyways, we are going to see this matchup once again on Xel Naga Caverns. And one thing to note about this map, of course, is the large amount of surface area to defend your natural. You do have these line of sight blockers to the right of your natural expansion, which allows people to get a backdoor. There's a bit of a longer way to go around over here, but that is one avenue you can attack from. And then, of course, in the front here, you have these two very large chokes that also lead into that natural, and then of course the ramp from your main leads down into the natural as well. So a lot of different ways that you can actually get into that natural base to do some harassment, so that can sometimes make it very early to defend against any kind of early aggression. And as we can see, we've got a scout here coming out from QXC already. And he's going to get into ppgBubbles, and see exactly what's going on in his base right now. And of course, Bubbles doing what pretty much every Protoss opens up with, more or less, unless they want to show some kind of cheese, going for that gateway and then immediately getting the Cybercore afterwards. And he probably will not chase that SCV out until, probably will not show his tech until he chases that SCV out, rather. And of course, you will need a Stalker to do that, because if the SCV is properly microed, it will not die to just a Zealot chasing it around. So that is definitely something to keep in mind there. Showing that tech tree usually happens a little bit late, and it looks like we might see some double barracks aggression from, oh my goodness, I just realized I did not set my status to busy. I'm going to go ahead and do that real quick so I don't see something pop up in the middle of the cast. But it looks like we're going to see some double barracks aggression from QXC. He does have one barracks with a Tech Lab add-on already, and getting that concussive shell, which is so powerful, especially when you're playing against Zealots. Zealots, of course, when they're slowed down by those concussive shells, can pretty much be kited endlessly. It's really difficult to get any shots in with Zealots unless you have sentries to throw force fields down behind those Marauders and keep them from running away and kiting. But do notice that ppgBubbles already putting down that expansion, and here comes the first Stalker, going to go and chase that SCV out of the base, and will he get the SCV kill? Ooh, he's only got one shot left. Oh, and he stops right at the line of sight blocker for some reason, and it looks like he is going to lose it. But looks like we actually have one Marine and Marauder coming across the map from QXC right now, another Marauder, and even sending some SCVs. We may see him try to put up some bunkers here and do an offensive bunker push. This is going to be a very aggressive play, and as you can see, Bubbles has not at all been able to get in the base of ROOTqxc there, so he has absolutely no idea what kind of tech he's going for. But it looks like he's got a couple Stalkers out already, going to slow down this push a great deal, and he gets the first Marauder, which is huge. 2 Stalkers versus 2 Marauders is definitely a bad situation, especially when you don't have any units to support it. But both of those Stalkers going down to the Marines, SCVs, and Marauder, and it looks like he is going to put up 2 bunkers outside the Nexus for Bubbles, and Bubbles looks like he is in a bad situation, already bringing probes off of the line in order to defend against this, because he currently does not have any units to hold this off, and trying to get us around on the Marauder, taking down the Marauder with his probes. And it looks like he's going for some of the SCVs now as well, but not taking any of the SCVs down, losing a couple of probes in the process. But it looks like Warp Gate technology just finishing, and he does have 4 Warp Gates up and running, so he's going to have to frantically warp in some units here, although the bunkers are now finished and there are units in the bunkers, and he is constantly streaming more and more reinforcements down here, although it looks like he is going to go ahead and send the SCVs enemies back to his base to mine. But this Nexus already getting all the shields knocked down off of it, and he's going to be losing some health. Warping in around his Zealots, it looks like he's going to wait for one more set of units before he moves in there and tries to actually take out this offensive bunker push. But if he loses this Nexus, it's going to be big problems for ppgBubbles. And here he comes going after the bunkers, and the Stalkers warping in now behind. The Guardian Shield going to provide a ton of armor for these Stalkers and Zealots against the Marines. Of course, the Marines doing so little damage that losing to the damage number itself is so little. They do a lot of damage per second, but the actual attack itself is so low that Guardian Shield taking away 2 HP per hit is a pretty big deal. And here come a couple more Stalkers here, and it looks like ppgBubbles actually may be able to barely hold this off, down to one Marauder, and it looks like that one Marauder is going to be taken down by the last couple of Stalkers here from ppgBubbles. There are some more reinforcements coming down, but no, it looks like QXC is going to send them back to his base. ppgBubbles showing some defensive genius on that. And let's go ahead and take a look at the income status here. It looks like we got pretty even on Harvesters, 27 to 26, so very close, although of course the Terran player QXC does have mules at his disposal, so going to have a slight advantage on the mineral income. And if we look at the production overlay here, we can see not a whole lot going on for ppgBubbles, trying to get some pylons, gases up, and then also trying to probe up just a little bit here. Meanwhile, Stim almost finished researching, just now finishing for QXC, and it looks like he is going to try to make another push here. A bunch of units going down, going to use that backdoor entrance here along the bottom that we looked at initially. And actually, it looks like he is also going to be sending some units down through the middle of the map, possibly. He does have a few units sitting right on those Xel Naga watchtowers, trying to keep an eye on the middle of the map here, and he is now sending them in. Although it looks like Bubbles going to go ahead and put down a pylon here, and possibly going to try to use that to stop Hellion harassment, because of course if Hellions come around the back here, and actually it looks like QXC might be, did he see that pylon? He did see the pylon, so it looks like he is not going to try to push through there possibly, and actually putting down a second pylon. This is going to create a complete wall off, but meanwhile there are more Marines and Marauders coming around the front here. And looks like they are going to be pushed back by the army of ppgBubbles. He does have a decent amount of Stalker, Zealots, and Sentries out in the front of his base now. So he is going to be able to push that force back. Although all of the army from QXC is starting to gather next to this one Xel Naga watchtower, which this is a pretty good amount of Marines and Marauders. A lot of damage in that small ball of units. Although likewise, ppgBubbles also has a small ball of death running around the middle of the map right now. And if we look again at the income tab, we can see that ppgBubbles has started to pull away on the harvester count, 48 to 33. Even with the mules, that's not really going to make up for all the minerals lost there. And it looks like ppgBubbles trying to poke in a little bit there, but there is too much defending that base. He is going to back off. However, he does see that there is a bunker up, and he has to